Larissa, what was kind of your view of the throw from left field? What happened and what the explanation was?
Throwing up the line. I'm still trying to get clarification on exactly what is obstruction nowadays in 2024. But throwing up the line, Crenshaw went into foul territory to get the ball. Ball ended up hitting the runner. Umpire called obstruction, and then the deflection went into the dugout. So that's why it's a 2-base award after the deflection, because it's a dead ball. I asked if I could review the obstruction call, and either way the run would have scored because we didn't have her out because the ball actually hit the runner, and that they have the right to be able to do that. So that was the call. Still would like to get clarification. I don't think it was obstruction, so I'd like to get some clarification on that interpretation. But either way, we got to make a better throw in that situation because we did have plenty of time to be able to get her out.
Coach, you had a heck of a series, but to come into this one and have the opportunity to win late and just kind of how it unfolded, what's it kind of feel like within the dugout for you, and how have they kind of taken the lessons learned over the past week and applied them to this series?
It's a little different conversation because you end it with a loss, but I think we didn't necessarily swing the bat really well today. I mean, we only had 2 hits. We got to be a little bit more productive and have more quality at bats. And I thought the first time through the lineup we were pretty productive, and then we kind of went into a lull, and we had a lot of easy outs. So that conversation would have been the same regardless if it was a win or a loss. It just stings a little bit differently when it is a loss. But having an opportunity to be able to win it, I mean, that's what you want to do late in the game. You want to get the winning run up to bat, and we were able to do that. We just weren't able to capitalize and have a quality at bat in that situation.
Coach, what did you make of Lauren's performance? Obviously, it lasted a lot longer than she did in her last start. What do you think was good? What do you think she could still?
Her off speed was really strong today, so that was extremely effective. She was able to spin the ball a little bit more. I'd like to see some more swings and misses. She definitely needs that, and I still don't think that we were in great command the whole weekend throwing both sides of the plate. We're going to have to be able to make some adjustments with our pitching staff to be able to throw inside on left-handed hitters. I thought the balls that we tried to get in were left over the heart of the plate a little bit too much, which is why they were hit hard. The one thing that concerns me is that 2 out of the 3 runs were scored with 2 outs. And I think we got to elevate our concentration in those situations and being able to shut the door when we get those 2 outs and not give up 2 out runs.
Larissa, obviously not the result you guys wanted, but just how big is it to end this weekend with a series win against a top 3 opponent?
That's huge. I mean, to take the series, we're extremely excited about how we performed this weekend to be able to take 2 out of 3 wins against LSU. I mean, LSU is an extremely strong team. And it's just, it elevated our game. And to be able to bounce back after a Tennessee sweep and to be able to shed some light on how well we can perform and what the expectations and the standards are of the program. I mean, we know where we're capable of playing and how well we're capable of playing, and we just have to continue to carry this momentum and just get better every single outing that we're out there.
You said yesterday that you don't feel like you guys are playing your best softball yet. Where are those areas that you feel like you guys still need to kind of take the next step?
I feel like we're not putting all 3 pieces together at the same time. That we'll hit really, really well, and then we're not playing great defense. And we'll pitch really well, and we're not scoring enough runs. So it's like we need all 3 aspects to be working at the same time to really get cooking. And I think we're really close. Like our pitching's really strong. I'm really happy with the depth of our bullpen, especially what we were able to do this weekend against a really strong offensive team. I thought yesterday we made some unbelievable defensive plays, and I thought today we let them back in the game because of some defensive miscues. We got to make some of those big plays. So, it's putting all those 3 pieces together at the same time. And hopefully we're doing that towards the end of the season. And that's where we want to peak is going into postseason.
Coach, defensively, you touched on it some yesterday, and Langer actually touched on it some, talking about the aggressiveness and how you need to be less conservative. That was a big part of the Tennessee series. So looking at the difference between last week and this week, where was kind of the mindset at? How'd you kind of guide them to where they needed to be? And to see that huge improvement in just 1 week, I mean, what does it say about the program?
Yeah, and it's giving them the freedom to fail. And that's really what it comes down to. Like, what is the risk you're going to take? And the risk is going to be laying out for balls and maybe stretching a single into a double and taking that extra base and a ball in the dirt. But also celebrating those risks, like giving them the freedom that it's okay to take chances and commend them and celebrate when they do. And when they feel that they have that freedom to be able to play freer and not worried about the result on if they don't make that play or if they get called out, they're going to take more risks. And I felt like that's really what we did yesterday is they took more risks defensively and laid out for a lot of balls that they probably would have let drop a week ago.
I know they're all business trips, but is this week a little more exciting for you personally?
I think it's definitely exciting for me personally. You know, going back to the East Coast, going back to where I started my career at Hofstra, I'm extremely proud to play in that stadium again. I'm really excited for our New York kids to be able to play in front of their home crowd. I think it's awesome for them. I mean, they've been playing in the Midwest now for, you know, Jenna Laird's been doing this for 4 years now. For her to be able to play in front of her hometown is going to be really, really special for her and Gallagher and Stefania Ambriscato. But I'm excited for the Hofstra team too. Like it's really neat to go through the emotions that I have, because when I was at Hofstra, LSU came and played us at Hofstra. And it meant so much for us when I'm in a mid-major school to have an SEC come in and play us on our home turf. And I wanted to give those players that same opportunity to be able to play in front of a huge crowd, because I know it's going to be packed against an SEC team. And it's something that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. I also want our players to experience the Northeast. Like, a lot of them have never been to New York City. They've never been to Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia. So not only are we going to play 4 competitive games, but we're going to be able to see a different part of the country that they've never seen before.
Coach, just looking at your roster and looking at kind of the cast that you have, it becomes really apparent that you put like a big emphasis on recruiting the Northeast. You have a lot of ties there. So to play in two in New York, 1 in Virginia, 1 in Pennsylvania, what's that kind of like? What does that do for your recruiting? And also, like, just how nice is it to be able to go around there?
You know, being a New Yorker and having all my roots and my ties from New York, we've made T-shirts that will say the 573s and the 518 with the area code, and the 573s and the 516. So we have Mizzou stickers all over the country, and especially in the Northeast, because of where our roots are coming from. So our Mizzou fan base has grown nationally because of where we're coming from and being able to recruit players from the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. If you go back to like Kim Wirt, she's from Virginia. You know, it just gives those kids something to look up to, that we're their dream SEC school, and that's pretty awesome.
One more thing, looking at, I hate to end it on a crappy note, but Berzon pitched 8 2/3 in relief over the past 2 days, and you know, you hit a little bit better against her today, but still without an earned run over those 8 2/3. So kind of against relievers, it's been a little bit of a thing against relievers where it's been a little bit harder for y'all to score. Is there anything you kind of took away from that? And I mean, how have they kind of been competing against, like, when they face a different kind of pitcher?
I think it's more they're not taking a true mental approach to that relief pitcher. Like, they're going in, and when we have a starter, they spend a lot of time looking at the scouting report and have a real good plan going in. I don't see that same concentration when the reliever's coming in. It's like they're just stepping in the box, hoping that they're going to make the adjustments rather than actually making those adjustments and being disciplined to that. And that's something that we just kind of talked about in the locker room. They spent the whole pregame prepared for her opportunity, prepared for her to come in, and we just didn't stay true to our plan. So we just have to maintain that discipline throughout and really trust that preparation. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Thank you.